The psychology of a manipulator. Have you ever felt completely controlled by someone and had no idea it was happening? That is the psychology of a manipulator. And today we are going inside the mind that does it. Imagine this. You are sitting at your kitchen table at 11 at night. Your phone is in your hand. You have just reread the same text message 17 times. And somehow each time you read it, you end up feeling like you are the one who did something wrong. But you did not start the argument. You never do. Somehow it always circles back to you. Your tone, your sensitivity, your inability to just let things go. And the terrifying part? You are starting to believe it. That is not a fight. That is not a rough patch. That is a system. A deliberate, invisible system designed to make you doubt the one thing that protects you most. Your own mind. Coming up, we are going to show you exactly how that system was built, brick by brick, inside the psychology of the person who built it. And what you find there might surprise you, because it is not what most people expect. Before we go further, I want to say something that most people skip. I am not here to hand you a villain, because the truth is, and this is the part that makes manipulation so unbearably complicated, most manipulators do not wake up in the morning and think, "Today I will destroy someone." Research in clinical psychology, including work built on the foundation laid by Dr. George Simon in his studies of character disturbance, consistently shows that many manipulative behaviors are not consciously calculated. They are conditioned. They are old survival strategies, learned in environments where vulnerability was punished, where love came with conditions, where being honest meant being hurt. Does that make the harm less real? Absolutely not. But it does mean that when you try to understand the psychology of manipulation, you are not looking at a monster. You are often looking at a deeply wounded person who learned to wound others before they could be wounded first. And there is something quietly devastating about that, because it means that somewhere, long before they ever met you, someone failed them too. I say this not to excuse the behavior. I say this because you deserve the full truth. Not a simplified story, not a cartoon. The full, complicated, human truth. In a moment, we are going to look at the specific traits, the patterns you can actually recognize. And one of them, I promise you, is going to feel uncomfortably familiar. Not because you are a manipulator, but because of who you have been closest to. So what does a manipulative personality actually look like from the inside out? Psychologists have identified a cluster of traits that appear across manipulative behavior, often referred to in research as part of the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. But the clinical language can make it feel abstract, distant, like something that only exists in textbooks or crime documentaries. So let me bring it closer. Trait 1. They are exceptional readers of people. This is not a compliment. A manipulator notices your insecurities the way a locksmith notices a weak hinge. They will file it away quietly, sometimes for months, and deploy it at exactly the moment you least expect. And most need to feel safe. Trait 2. They create emotional debt. Grand gestures, overwhelming kindness at the start. Researchers call this love bombing, and it is not affection. It is investment. It is a down payment on your compliance later. Because once you feel that indebted, setting a boundary starts to feel like ingratitude. Trait 3. They rewrite reality. Gaslighting is not just a social media buzzword. It is a documented psychological tactic in which a person systematically causes you to question your perception of events. Studies on coercive control show that prolonged gaslighting can produce symptoms that mirror anxiety disorders and even PTSD, not because something dramatic happened once, but because nothing was ever allowed to be real. Trait 4. They never lose an argument, because arguments are not about truth. For a manipulator, conflict is not a place to find resolution. It is a power arena. They argue to dominate, to exhaust, to make you so tired of the cycle that you concede just to breathe again. And the cruelest trait of all? Trait 5. They make you feel chosen, special, seen. And for a little while, usually right at the beginning, that feeling is real. You were not wrong to feel it. That warmth you experienced was not entirely fake, which is exactly why the unraveling hurts so much. Because you are not just losing a relationship. You are mourning a version of someone that, in many ways, never fully existed. But here's the question that very few people stop to ask, and it might be the most important one. Why did it work on you specifically? The answer lives in something deep and rarely spoken about. We will be there in just a moment. Manipulation does not work on everyone equally. And that is not a judgment. That is psychology. The people most vulnerable to manipulative personality traits are very often the most empathetic, the most loyal, the most deeply committed to believing the best in others. People who grew up in homes where love was inconsistent, where you had to earn safety, often become extraordinarily skilled at reading other people's moods, at managing emotions that were never theirs to manage, at putting others first as a form of self-protection. Attachment theory, developed through the decades of work following John Bowlby's research, gives us language for this: anxious attachment. The chronic belief buried below conscious thought that if you love someone enough, if you just become enough, they will finally stay. A manipulator does not create that wound. They find it, and they build their entire system around it. This is the part I want you to sit with for a moment. The fact that you were vulnerable does not mean you were foolish. It means you were human. It means you had a heart big enough to offer someone the benefit of the doubt, again and again and again, even when every quiet instinct in your body was whispering that something was wrong. That instinct was right. And learning to hear it, learning to trust it, that is not hardening yourself. That is coming home to yourself. Before we close, there is one final thing, something small. But if you have ever stood on the other side of this, if you have ever caught yourself using any of these tactics, even unconsciously, what I want to say to you is something you probably did not expect to hear. If any part of this story touched something in you, if you heard yourself in these words, or someone you love, or someone you are only just beginning to see clearly, please do not carry that alone. Share this with someone who needs it, not because it will fix everything, but because sometimes the most powerful thing one person can do for another is simply say, I see what is happening to you, and you are not imagining it. If this channel has ever given you that kind of quiet company, that sense that someone understands, then like, share, and stay with us. There is so much more to explore together, because you found this video for a reason, and I'm really glad you did.